interrupt your programming on Nickelodeon. This is a national emergency. Important guidelines will follow. The following message has been transmitted by request from the Union Pacific Railroad. At 12:30 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time, 2 Union Pacific coal trains suffered a head-on collision at the North Platte interlocking in Hershey, Nebraska. All 6 locomotives and 201 hopper cars in all 3 cabooses derailed. At this time, a mandatory evacuation has been issued for the following areas: Lincoln, Hershey, North Platte, Maxwell, Brady, Wallace, Dickens, Elsie, Madrid, Grant, Brendan, Brawleys, Big Springs, Sutherland, Paxton, Roscoe, and Keystone. Tune to your stations in your area for additional headlines. Anyone within a 50-mile radius are advised to head to a shelter. Stay tuned for further updates. Civil danger warning for the entire state of Nebraska. The following message has been transmitted by request from the North Platte Fire Department, the Hershey Police Department, and the Brandon Fire Rescue and AMP, Emergency Management. A geyser of flames have shot more than 3,000 feet into the air. Anyone within a 50-mile square radius are advised to head to a shelter immediately. It is unknown if the 2 crews of 4 have survived or did not survive the impact. It was also confirmed that C-30-7 locomotives 2,536 and 2,539 were both destroyed by flames and will be sent for scrap once the fires die down. It is also unknown of the status of the hopper cars filled with low-sulfur coal. Again, a 3,000 geyser of flames were shot spontaneously into the air. Reporting again, a mandatory evacuation has been given to the entire state of Nebraska. Stay tuned for further updates. Telephone outage warning. The following message has been transmitted by request from the Brady Emergency Management. At around 1:15 a.m., thousands of 911 calls poured into the hotline and crashed multiple computers in the operator's offices down. Repeating again, 911 is out of service for your area until further notice. Anyone with emergency information is to call 0 for your operator. Also, if necessary, dial Quest identification at 1-800-582-0655 to initiate immediate action. All rescue crews are still fighting the fire at this time. It is still unknown if anyone survived the impact of the crash or were killed on impact. Remain in your shelter. Do not open your windows. You are exposing yourself to toxic smoke inhalation. Stay away from the area surrounding North Platte. Stay tuned for further updates. The NTSB has begun an investigation on what caused the crash. All firefighting personnel have been evacuated from the crash site due to severe explosions. Some flames were shot almost 6,000 feet above sea level. Repeating again, all firefighting personnel including aerial equipment have been evacuated for their own safety. The state of Nebraska is still undergoing lockdown from this disaster. National Guardsmen have fully evacuated the areas of North Platte and Hershey. There is no word of any fatalities, so stay calm. Tune to 1240 FM on your radio dial for urgent bulletins. Stay tuned for further updates. We interrupt Nickelodeon to deliver an alarming update to the crash at North Platte interlocking. A fatality was confirmed along with 3 critically injured victims. Repeating again, 1 person was confirmed to be deceased and 3 others critically injured from broken bones and 5th-degree burns. All 3 victims are being transported over to intensive burn units and other parts of the area hospital. Also, 4 hopper cars were confirmed to be completely burned and destroyed in the wreckage. The investigation is still being eyewitnessed at this time. Broadcasting has been put on standstill for your own safety. Stay tuned for further updates. Shelter-in-place warning for the state of Nebraska. The following message has been transmitted by request from the National Guard. A shelter in place has been issued for the state of Nebraska. The fires in the train wreck have gone from severe to critical. A 12,000 geyser of flames has shot 2 miles into the air. All Forest Service management have been evacuated to area shelters for their own safety. Anyone in your shelters, you are advised to avoid doors and windows. Do not open your windows by any means. You are exposing yourself to toxic smoke inhalation and asphyxiation. Remain in your shelters until an all clear has been given by the National Guard. Stay tuned for further updates. We interrupt your programming on Nickelodeon. This is a national emergency. Important guidelines will follow. This message has been transmitted by request from the United States government. This is not a test. An evacuation immediate has been given to anyone living in the western portion of the state of Kansas. Cornfields have been destroyed by explosions from the coal trains. This train wreck is now considered a disaster site for the Federal Emergency Management Agency. The investigation is still being looked at, but urgent bulletins will pop up shortly. Again, this is a disaster site involving the states of Nebraska and Kansas. Stay away from these areas. Fire warning. The following message has been transmitted by request from the Nebraska Forest Management. The flames from the train wreck have risen the ranks from critical to psychotic. A red flag warning is also in effect for the same area. A 22,000-foot geyser of flames shot spontaneously into the air. The investigation is nearly being completed at this time. At around 5:15 a.m. Mountain Daylight Time, a report of heavy fog came into by other news and media outlets. It is unknown if fog was the culprit to this horrific crash. Again, this is not yet confirmed. Stay tuned for further updates. Urgent bulletin. The telephone outage warning mentioned 4 hours and 22 minutes ago is now terminated. The power lines have been fully restored, but the investigation is not yet completed. Also, anyone in the shelter, please remain patiently until the National Guard gives an okay to leave your shelters. We will have later announcements by NTSB officials on how serious this situation was before, during and after the crash. Once again, stay tuned for further updates. Civil emergency message. The NTSB is just about completed with its investigation. It is purely possible the fog was the culprit in interfering with the signals at North Platte interlocking. Also, fires have not completely but majorly died down. Residents in your shelters, it is not yet safe to leave your area. Again, do not open your windows. You are exposing yourself to toxic smoke inhalation. Broadcasting is partially resumed for now, until later statements are made. Stay tuned for further updates. This is an emergency action notification. All broadcast stations shall transmit this emergency action notification message. This program has interrupted broadcasting by request of the United States government and White House to participate in this emergency. During this emergency, most stations will remain on the air providing information to assigned news outlets and areas. You are listening to the emergency alert system. Do not use your telephones, as all telephones are being used for emergency purposes. The emergency alert system has been activated. Please stand by for later statements in the next 15 to 25 minutes. We interrupt your programming on Nickelodeon. This is a national emergency. Important guidelines will follow. This message has been transmitted by request from the United States government and the White House Chief of Staff. An all clear has been given to anyone in a shelter. Also, fog was confirmed as the culprit to this horrific disaster. At around 9:37 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, an all clear was given to anyone in a shelter. Residents of the states of Nebraska and Kansas, It is now safe to leave your shelters and turn to your homes. We thank you for your cooperation during this emergency. We will now return to regular programming on Nickelodeon.